Okay, so today I'm just gonna read a little bit of the book I've been reading. I've been trying to get myself into Warhammer 40k because it seems that there's an infinite number of books of this. So if I really get into it, I may be able to read forever. So I mean, never run out of things to do, right? Uh, so let's start. There's no such thing as luck. Put putting Linha Taikon, without taking her pretty eyes from the viewing bay. Only statistical probability, aponia, and confirmation bias. Then you and I need to play a few hands of knights and knaves, said Emil. Uh, Robot chuckled, returning his attention to the viewing bay and the impossibly vast craft before his own ship. Holy terror! Breathed Emil, finally looking up at the vessel he was flying towards. You mean Holy Mars, surely, said Pavelka. Whatever, said Emil. That thing's bloody enormous. Such masterful understatement, said Pavelka. The Esperanza is a vessel against which all others are diminished. All praise to the Omnissiah. Robote had heard the vessel known as Arch Mechanicus, but had dismissed tales of their continent-sized cityscapes and planetoid bulk as exaggerations, embellished legends, or outright lies. Exaggerations, embellished legends, or outright lies. Now he knew better. A passing battleship that Robot recognized as a Dominator-class vessel sailed below the Esperanza, and its length was more than eclipsed by the beam of the Arch Mechanicus, where the Navy's ship tended towards wedge-shaped prow and giant cathedral of stone carved into the craggy structure of their hulls. The Mechanicus favored a less ostentatious approach to the design to their ships. Function, not form or glorification, was the guiding light of the ancient Mechanicus shipwrights. The colossal vessel had little symmetry, no glided arcs or lofty architecture, no processional cloisters of sanctuary, no vaulted geodesic domes, and no great eagle wings or sweeping crenellations. The Esperanza was an infrastructure and industry, a hive's worth of manufactories, refineries, crackling power plants, and kilometer upon kilometer of laboratories, testing ranges, chemical vats, and gene bays, arranged in an efficient as a way as the ancient plans for its construction had allowed. Its engines were larger than most starships, full mass. Its individual void generators and Geller arrays, large enough to shroud and frigate them by themselves. I don't know what frigate means. Robote had seen his fair share of spacefaring leviathans, some imperial, some not, but he had yet to see anything to match the sheer mindedness, bloody mindedness, and ambition of the Mechanicus to have built such a damnable impressive, damnably impressive vessel. To take us days to get from embarkation deck to the bridge, said Emil. That's fair. Perhaps they have internal teleporters, suggested Robot. Don't joke, said Adara. I'm not, said Revolt. Seriously, I'm not. How else would anyone get about this vessel that size? No one's teleporting me anywhere, said Adara. Fine, you can stay in the Renard and keep her from being dismantled and studied. You think they'd do that? I doubt it, but you never know, said Revolt, patting the pearl inland wooden arms of his command throne. The Renard is a classic triplex plow 99 Intrepid class, with corner sanctions upgrades and her shield arrays. I wouldn't trust a tech priest with a range anywhere near her. An unfair assessment, said Leia Thicon. No tech priest will touch the ship once they refit history. Inloaded her refit history. They would be too afraid of system degradation for such an ancient data. Interrogative. Was that a joke? Asked Pavelka. Her mechadentritis stiffened, and her floodstream rising to a challenge level at her vessel. It was, Linya. Do not insult our ship, said Pavelka. You, of all people, ought to know better. Apologies, Magos, said Leah, with a cough of binary to emphasize her contrition. A poor jest. What are those ships? Asked Adar, pointing to the number of high-sided crafts bathed in the light of the Joran moon. Ungainly vessels shaped like spacefaring capital imperialists. They rose into a cavernous hold on one of their rear embarkation blisters, and though each was surely enormous, even they were dwarfed by the Esperanza. Emil twisted the brass dial of the aspects array to read the broadcast frequencies of the vessels, and winced at the names blasted into space like a challenge. He snatched the implant from his ear, dialing down the gain as howls of machine can't beloud our identities and warnings with equal force. I didn't understand anything that I just read. I'll do it again. They rose to. No. What are those ships? Asked Kadar, pointing to the number of high-sided crafts bathed in the light of the Joran moon, ungainly vessels shaped like spacefaring capital imperialis. They rose into a cavernous hold on one of the rear embarkation blisters, and though each was surely enormous, even they were dwarfed by the Speranza. Emil twisted the brass dial of the Alpex array to read the broadcast frequencies of the vessels, and winced as the name blasted into space like a challenge. Seems something like the technologies he's using to read the broadcast frequencies of the vessel. Oh. Something that's kind of confusing for me in Warhammer. I don't really know like the technology that people have, you know. Like I was reading earlier part about this, and the guy had some sort of eye implant, I guess. They were analyzing him, but some people they don't have implants. They are literally like all implants. I guess they are the magos or the mechanicus. I don't really know yet. Anyway, I can't really tell the difference between the people that are um, fully machines and the people that are have some sort of enhancement. Let's continue. And he snatched the implant from his ear, dialing down the gain as howls of machines can't bellowed out identities and warning with equal force. Legio Sirius. said Emil, massaging the side of his head, where the binary screaming had overloaded a number of his implanted cognitive arrays. So it is an implant. Robot nodded, now seeing the Canadian symbol in the flanks of the engine transports. Titans, the god machines, said Pavelka, almost to herself. I once performed a maintenance ritual on a wounded engine of Legio Praetor, only a warbound but still. Warhound. The Legio are warning people away from their loading operations, said Magus Tychon. For such big bastards, they're coyer than an Ophelian hospitaller and her wedding on her wedding night. I don't know what that means, said Emil with a sly wink. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. How would she know about it? You shouldn't say things like that about the Sororistas, said Adara, brushing. Sororistas? I guess there is a faction in the Warhammer 40k about that. Is the Sister of Battle or not? I don't really know. It never ceases to amaze Roboto that a man so skilled in taking life and causing harm was so innocent in the ways of the fairer sex. Adara had honed his skills in one arena while neglecting many others. Robote could admire this trait, for he had seen others follow the path aboard Isha's needle. But there was a time. Oh, my wife's calling me. See you later.